So as we approach 2026, beatmaking has never been more popular. But that also means it's never been harder for your beats to stand out. There are only so many rappers to send beats to, producers to collaborate with, and publishing deals to go around. And every year more and more producers are chasing the exact same things. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, because now more than ever it's about creating something different, something that stands out. So in today's video I'm going to break down into 3 simple sections how this can be achieved, starting with your melodies. Making good melodies is the most important skill for producers and has been for some time. See, the producers that can make the best samples get access to the top producers who are actually in the rooms with the artists that you want to work with. So in short, if you want to climb the ladder, then you need to make really good melodies. But today's video is about standing out, and there are literally thousands of producers who can make insane melodies already. So we need to think outside the box with our approach. So for the melody, we need to choose some sounds which are unorthodox and use them in a unique and creative way. So we have a little idea for what we can do for this melody to make it stand out by combining the instrument sounds with the pedal sounds. I think that could be very interesting and allow us to make something new but without having to reinvent the wheel. For the pedal sounds, I'm going to be using the brand new bank multi-pedals inside of Pigments and Analog Lab. There's over 150 presets across 3 different folders, and it comes with a massive sound kit as well. And yeah, you can get it right now, it's on sale. So we want to start with some kind of chord progression, texture, something to inspire. And thankfully that's going to be quite easy with these presets. I mean, that's crazy. If we press the keys like this, we get one sound. If we press them all the way in, we get a completely different sound. And when you combine them together in a creative way, it's just so much fun. Oh, I like that. That's crazy. Let's chop those 2 bits and put them together. Yeah, I like that. It's bouncing. So instantly right there, we're already along the right lines, I think, with this one. So let's keep going. Let's go into the experimental bank. This is where all of the craziest presets live. And we're looking for something that is just going to be a bit of a standout sound. Ooh, maybe not. Oh! Nah, that's crazy. What? We got to put that in. And again. A little bit early. Okay, those blend together really nicely. So I know what you guys are thinking. Wow, Jack, so if we don't have these presets, we can't make something that's unique, basically. Well, that's not technically true, but having the best sounds and the best presets is going to make it a lot easier. But here's something we can do with any melody that you've just recorded as an audio track. It's something that I do a lot, and we're just going to consolidate this to do it. If we go into the audio thing here, put it on stretch, 12 pitch range, and then we create the automation clip for that. Double click on the space up here to bring this open. Drag in one of our automations down here. And listen. That one there was crazy. We're going to put this on halftime. So right now we're at 128. So we divide that by 2. That's going to be 164 BPM. There we go. Woo! And this is just a unique trick that you can do with any melody. What I'm going to do is I'm going to consolidate this again, and doing a lot of these consolidations, resampling, chopping up techniques, this is all contributing towards having a more unique melody. Because again, too many producers will just play in their melody as MIDI, maybe stem it out, maybe not, and just put effects on it and that's it. But if you're willing to go the extra mile, then your shit is going to stand out. Simple as that. So let's keep going with this. To do a little trick here that I love to do, which is just like a fake delay. Let's bounce that as a master channel now so that it's all one. Bro, like, come on. Maybe we could throw some grid on this. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, why don't we start with this? Ugh. Yeah, this is tough. I'm gonna say this is fucking crazy. We're gonna turn things up a notch now. We're gonna go for them real instrument sounds. We're gonna go into Omnisphere for the guitar. You know we got that Omnisphere free. I'm gonna go into Sonic Extensions, Nylon Sky, and I want a strummer. This is something that could be really cool, is if we add some soul vocals to this. This is something you really don't hear that much in these types of samples. Ooh, oh. What if we do this? Jeez! Okay, let's turn that down. I'm gonna actually go for one of those again, but I'm gonna go Voices of Soul this time. I'm gonna go for a phrase. We are in F, so we need this one. Just kind of spread the vocals around a little bit there. Let's cut the guitar here. Alright, let's add a bass guitar. This is another element which I love adding to these samples because, again, it's an acoustic element, but it always seems to fit with these analog sounds, man. It's crazy. Of course, Scarbeat, Rickenbacker bass, and I always use the hammerhead setting. Oh! Oh! We do have a lot of instrument sounds. We've got the two vocals, the guitar and the bass guitar now. Maybe we should add one more pedal sound to even it out a little bit. Before we do that, let me just process this up a little bit. I got some new toys, guys. I'm excited, okay? I got all the UAD stuff now, so I'm just like, yeah. That's hard. What? Oh, that's nice. Let's do some pan real quick. Alright, let's add one more thing from Pigments. Oh, yeah, man. Let's do that. And this is one of those presets in multi-pedals where it constantly changes. We want it consistent every time, so we just bounce it to audio like this. So we're not quite done with the melody just yet. We are going to flip it now. So I'm going to bounce it as one, like this. We're going to mess with the timing and the pitch as well now. The up 5 like that is nice. I fuck with that. So now our melody is done and sounding pretty different. We need to move on to the drums. Now, while making drums isn't as in demand of a skill as making melodies, you can still go very far by having a unique drum programming technique. I mean, look at producers like Wonder Girl. She isn't particularly celebrated for her melodies, but rather her insane drum bounce that always sounds different to everybody else. So to make our drums stand out, we need to experiment with the placement and the sound selection of key elements such as the snare, the 808, the hi-hats. And the trick is to keep the genre's fundamentals present in our beat, but infused with something unique, such as an experimental sound choice or rhythm. One producer who does this very well is actually Cardo. He often puts his snare in a completely different spot to most people, to create these alternative grooves that always seem to stand out. So with that in mind, let's make some drums for this one. Ooh, okay, so yeah, we've just moved the second snare from where it would normally be here to here. So what I've done is I've just stretched the second snare a little bit, and using 2 snares is already a pretty unique approach, but to stretch the sound a little bit to give it that edge, I just like it. It's different. Let's do an 808 on this. Oh my days. Yeah, a little background texture there, I like that. So let's move on to section number 3. The final method to making beats that stand out is achieved by how we mix our different sounds. Most producers will just use the mixing process to add a few basic effects and level out their mix, but there is so much that you can do here that can turn a basic beat on its head. So for instance, we can over exaggerate a specific effect type like distortion, detune, filtering or reverb on specific elements of the beat. And a producer who does this very well is actually Drake's go-to guy at OVO40. And he will often purposefully filter out the entire mix so that only the low end is present, which instantly makes his beats stand out compared to everyone else's who wouldn't think to do that. So let's experiment with this idea and see how far we can take it. We're gonna over exaggerate a certain type of effect. And I think for this one, I think it might be distortion and like bit crush, to be honest. That will definitely make this sound different. And because our 808 is quite distorted and heavy, I think that will match the vibe of that nicely. So let's kind of work through each sound and do it like that. So the bass. This will sound really cool with a bit crush on it. Nice. Now the vocals. I've pretty much run out of CPU here, so I'm just gonna bounce this as is. Fuck it. Woo! Push it down an octave. Here we go. Yeah! Damn! So just to recap what we've done to make this beat stand out and sound a lot different to the sort of generic trap beats you hear a lot. I think this definitely does, by the way, stand out from a combination of everything we've done. So let's cover that. When we made the melody, we chose a lot of sounds which were very different to what you would normally hear, and also combined them with other sounds that you would never hear together. Then the drums, we chose a lot of drum sounds which I think are quite unique. If I just play the drums by themselves, you'll hear what I mean. I actually kind of regressed back on the drums. I put the sounds back to how they were supposed to be, like the placement of the snares and stuff, just because I felt like it was moving a bit too far away from where I wanted it to go. So yeah, that's that really, as much as I can really do with that. And then the mixing, we put some distortion on stuff. We put the bit crusher effects on. We put the amp on the vocals to really give it that vintage sound. It's a really interesting combination of effects, and I think the end result definitely speaks for itself. We really just exaggerated those certain types of effects you would hear subtle versions of normally. So yeah, if you've learned something new, then definitely leave a like on this one and subscribe if you're not already. And obviously, like we spoke about earlier in the video, Multi-Pedals is out now. If you guys want to check that out, the link is down below in the description. This is something we've been working on at Synth Palace for a long time now, and I'm so glad it's finally out and you guys can check this out for yourselves. And I appreciate all the support on that and everything we've been doing this year. And yeah, let's keep it going, man. So I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Peace.